Hey everyone, it's Rarest Lego Minifigures back again today with another rare item review from my collection. And this is truthfully one of my favorites. This is the original wooden duck. And that is right, said wooden, not a plastic toy by any means. Lego actually used to make wooden toys before they made any plastic ones, and that actually went on for a couple of decades. So originally, when Lego was first discovered in the early 1930s, they actually made a lot of wooden equipment and such for families and households around Denmark. Pretty local business. And then ultimately from there, they actually started to make wooden toys and went through a couple of fires. Their warehouse burned down, their shop burned down, etc. Fortunately, multiple times and more than once by Olay's kids, believe it or not. And ultimately, again, because of these fires, it allowed the company to almost get a fresh start, reset, and focus on different opportunities, how the market was changing, and all of that. And ultimately, again, kind of mid 1930s, settling on pursuing wooden toys and using those to actually trade with like local farmers and such for a way to help feed his family. And so, with Lego wooden toys, many different types. You have what we have here before you, which is the most popular, the Lego wooden duck, produced from 1935 to the late 1950s, about 1959. You have different other animals, pull toys such as goats, sheep, chickens, dogs, cats, you name it. They made a lot of different animals, squirrels, etc. All usually coming in a pull toy variety, which essentially means if you pull from the front of the animal or wooden pull toy feature, will actually cause a little mechanism on the bottom, which I will show you, to engage, resulting in some sort of action. And, that was really a feature of Lego toys at that time. There was also Lego wooden toys that didn't have as much of a fun mechanism. You just had regular, like, little irons and little household appliances, iron boards, things of that nature for kids to play with and act out fun tasks that their parents might be doing, although the parents probably looked at them as regular chores. And then you also had, your common, more trucks, cars, and all of that, both created in first wooden toys, and actually they also made die-cast models at some point too, although none of which would I currently own. My focus is again on like the most common of Lego wooden toys, which happens to be again the Lego wooden duck. It had enjoyed the longest amount of success for a period from 1935 to 1959, as previously mentioned. And throughout that time, the concept of the Lego wooden duck, how it was produced and all that, was also edited. So originally they were all hand painted, usually in like the mid again 1930s, late 1930s, and so before transitioning more to actually crafting them with stenciling within the Lego factory itself. And so this duck that we actually see here is a 1939 to 1949 version. And again, with this long 25-year history, roughly 25-year history of making Lego wooden toys, and specifically the wooden duck, there's many variations. You have different color arrangements, you have different styles of duck, and many slight variations that you may see, but all in all, the kind of simple premiership of the Lego duck remained the same. And again, truthfully, one of the favorite items that I have in my collection. So, that's some interesting history, but let's actually dive into looking at the item a little bit closer. So, like I mentioned, the pull toy function of the Lego duck always engages some sort of mechanism for this pull toy. And unfortunately, rolling it across my little display table here doesn't function super well. But as you can see, if I actually twist this wheel here, it makes a quacking noise. Pretty fun. And again, usually there is a piece here in the front, like a little peg that actually will hold a strand or string to then pull the duck across the surface. And as you can see, the mechanism engages the beak and also makes the quacking noise. Now, where does that actually come from? If you look at the bottom of the Lego wooden duck here, you can see there's a mechanism underneath that will push up as this wheel turns, in turn push up, and as you can see, this upper beak to engage upwards, and then also hit a little spring, the spring right here, to then make the quacking noise. And again, kind of has to be laying a little bit more like that. And again, if you look up, it's kind of difficult to show on camera, but you can see that little piece right there that I'm pointing out switches up and engages another metal piece to then make that kind of twinging or quacking noise. Wooden pull toys, again, we're focusing on the duck here today, but commonly had, the same sort of standard setup where you have this wooden block that the animal is resting upon, a four-wheel sort of engagement, and then ultimately the animal on top with the mechanism guided by the front wheels. And, for this, usually the wheels, as you can see, painted red generally. That paint has since worn off. You can see some really nice craftsmanship here with this different coloring, and I've seen a lot of different coloring throughout Lego wooden ducks. I myself own a couple different variations. I'm sure I'll review other ducks that I have at different stages of this channel. And if you flip it around, again, no red on these wheels, same sort of pattern on the opposite side. Even the top is painted at one point, but as you can see, again, age has basically worn that away. And then again, same sort of iteration here with the eyes, the beak, and basically these eye side pieces as two separate parts on either side of the head, as you can see there, held in place by this either like generally a wooden peg. So it's almost like all wooden except for that metal brackets underneath. I've also seen a variation where this little piece is metal, and it's generally in about the same spot. Again, as I flip this back the other way, you can also, of course, see the Lego logo there on the bottom. And thankfully, we actually know, even Lego making a poster themselves and releasing it as a VIP reward here recently, that depending upon what sort of Lego logo you actually have a variation in terms of like knowing what year this product was released. So as I mentioned, this is over 24 years, so it's kind of nice to know like what year did my Lego duck actually come out. And because of this logo, I actually know it's again from 1939 to 1949. I've seen other variations. I have different Lego logo there where you can say, oh, this is a late 1950s duck, or this is a duck that's actually from the 1930s. And again, this is something that is kind of stamped on. If you have a duck that's actually doesn't have this logo, it's important to note that there was many other companies within around Denmark, Germany being one of them, that actually made similar products as Lego, like pool toys and all of that. Counterfeiting dates back more than just recently in terms of products that are released today. We all know like Leppen and such. But similar toys also being made around the same time to copy the success of Lego. And so because of that, it's really, really important if you're ever in the market for a Lego wooden pool toy or a Lego wooden toy in general, that they come with some sort of logo, because otherwise it can be very, very challenging to actually really appreciate much of a difference between them. Other companies also had well-made product at that same time. And, considering again, this product as a whole, where can you find one? What is it on the market? So very, very challenging actually to find for sale. And obviously this is a toy that, I'm talking 1939 to 1949. So we're talking in excess almost of 75 years, which is pretty wild to think about. And, again, when considering that, like how often do you see them come up for sale? Not often. How many are actually, in existence? Talking about a period of 24 years. So there are plenty of them out there, but a lot of them, again, in collectors' hands, destroyed at one point or another, thrown into the disposal bin after the kid had their fun. So, again, I see them, maybe a couple times a year, either come up for private sale, on a marketplace, overseas, etc. It's the most common spot. Really don't ever find them for sale within the United States, which is where I'm located. Usually running a price of several $1,000s, unfortunately, but for many, so not perhaps your common collector item. But again, if you can ever afford to get your hands on one, I absolutely recommend it. I truly love my Lego duck. I consider it kind of one of the hallmark pieces of my collection. So thank you so much for watching. And again, as always, please subscribe if you'd like to see more rare item content. And of course, let me know in the comments below what you would like me to see review next from my collection. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.